Can't put them two together.
Mr. Accomando,
Present.
Mrs. Borelli, Mr. Cipollone, Mrs. Mahoney,
Here.
Mr. Quinn,
Here.
Mrs. Robinson,
Here.
Mr. White,
Here.
Mr. Winnie,
Here.
Mrs. Ottavelli.
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. So we're going to start with the superintendent report.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I just want to report that Park AP testing and science testing is all rolling. So soon we'll finish up. But as I said a few weeks ago, that will take up much of the month of April and part of the month of May, and then there's makeup testing and everything else. So this is an ongoing process. More importantly, I'd like to send out a public apology to all our staff members and students and families at Washington School on Friday. Mr. Karate and myself were not notified until approximately 1:30 from Dr. Cabezas, who was in her building, went in and found out that the water was turned off. We weren't aware of that. Consequently, we were under the impression that the water would be turned back on by approximately 2 o'clock. And lo and behold, it wasn't until about 3:45 when Ray and I were having a meeting on a totally different topic that we were alerted that the water had just been turned on. It's not something I'm happy about. This was a project that needed, it was a hot water heater that needed to be replaced. And generally, you can get that done within an hour. So they had good intentions, but they did run into a problem because of old pipes. Once the boiler was in place, the heater was in place, the pipe on the cold water line broke. And in an attempt to fix that, the next pipe broke, and there was water all over the place. Consequently, it turned into a major fiasco. Again, we weren't aware of that, so I do apologize. Under normal circumstances, if I know water's going to be off for 2 hours, we'll make some provisions to make sure that we have water at the building, move the students, or close the school. So again, I apologize. My instructions for the future simply are anything that's not an emergency, dealing with electricity or water, do it after school or on a weekend. This way, we will not have these problems, because we know, dealing with older buildings, as soon as you touch one pipe, there's going to be a problem somewhere else. So, very, very sorry for the inconvenience to everybody involved, and we want to assure you that that will not happen again. The only work we want done is if there's an immediate emergency where something is squirting water out of a fountain or something like that, we'll fix that. But as far as major work, cannot happen during a school day. Agreed, Mr. Karate? Agreed. Okay, so again, I apologize. And I will say it again on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we'll go to agenda action items. First is the Education Committee. Mr. Quinn, do you have a report for us?
No, the Education Committee did not meet this month. We'll be meeting before next month's meeting.
Okay, thank you. So, do you want to go through
Yeah,
the
you want me to go
agenda
through?
items?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were going to...
Yep, I do.
Okay, so starting with the Education Committee, let's take a look at number 1 and within IDs numbers 1 through 6. Any questions? Nope. I will move to number 2, and in this section, just review all the trips from 371 to 410. Lots of trips coming up. I do want to point out trip 409, because I had a question about it, that Pax Amicus Theater. I looked it up, and it's in Mount Olive. That's, I think, approximately 60 students from the high school going to see Romeo and Juliet. Everything else is self-explanatory. 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Just for
Yep.
5. I'll have
Yep.
to be abstaining from that.
Okay.
because I am chaperoning.
All right, yeah, it'd be better, probably best if you did, if you're chaperoning a trip. Yeah. Okay. All right. And I also want to point out, the band and chorus are going on an overnight trip in June, first week of June, which we already approved. However, we had to remind them that their parent chaperones were waiting for their not permission slips, their background check information to come, fingerprinting, so I'm hoping that we can have that in place for Wednesday. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, just actually three parents that are not yet cleared. We have also on that trip is the accompanying us, Miss Novak, who already is fingerprinted because she's done some other work for us at the school. And a Miss Lynn Wojak is a parent who's also an RN. She will be serving as the nurse on the trip as well. So I just wanted to bring that up so that it's not a surprise to anybody. Okay? Any questions on that?
I just like you, I was surprised to hear that they needed a nurse on this trip. Do we know if there's a specific reason? Because no other overnight trips take nurses with them, other than maybe the 6th grade, but like, I know softball doesn't, cheerleading doesn't, but, so why would they need a nurse on this one?
It's usually good practice to have somebody if you can. If you can, and if somebody is a parent that's willing to do it, I'm not opposed to it, if you're all right with that, okay?
But there's
Yeah.
nothing that states they have to, right?
No, it's always,
I think they
yeah,
should,
it's not, yeah,
honestly,
yeah. It's preferred that you do, is the real fact. Any kind of overnight trip, that you should have a nurse on it. But of course, I think, my experience has been, if anything, really, if you believe that a student, in the event of an accident, gets a bad sprain or breaks a leg, yep, that's it. 911's going to come and take care of that. But it's always good to have it on. Okay, yep. Any other questions? Okay. Moving along. On the budget, numbers 1 through 4.
Well, we got a committee thing.
Yeah, first I need a committee report from
Oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Arcamando.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Mr. Arcamando, do you have a committee report?
Yes, I do. Okay, we briefly reviewed the 2018-19 school budget, proposed budget. We met today with 2 consultants for grants. We reviewed the agenda for today, and the committee recommends all approval, which is discuss the request from the LEAD program to use the facility. The committee decided to put on the agenda and discuss with the full board later on, or in a couple minutes, I guess. The retesting of 50 drinking fountains resulted in 2 that were over federal guidelines. And Mr. Karate will be sending out a letter to all parents. The 2 drinking sources have been shut off for repairs. Let alone, this doesn't have to be done for another 5 years, but Ray and the board thought it was a good idea to do every year. And food service. Pizza is now being delivered from, it's no longer called Buongiorno's, it's called Flames
Flame.
Pizza. And now they have cookies available, which so far the kids love them, even though they're whole wheat. And there's several promotional days in the middle school, high school. On 4/25 was sushi. On 5/21 is going to be omelets, which I know Mr. Rashika's excited about.
Yes.
And on the
diet.
31st is waffles. And we have a discussion on Pomptonian's contract for renewal for this year and next year. And that's it. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Accomando.
You got it.
I'm going to move ahead now. Please take a look at numbers 1 through 4. Questions? Move on now to all of number 5. There are 10 IDs within.
I have a question on, if I could.
Yeah.
ID number 2.
Yes.
What, with your is it your contract really expiring the 30th? Is it a contract or?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
is this something that you would have to need for that, or?
This is something that I attend this every year, and contractually it's in there, but beside the fact, what I'd like to do is a lot of great topics that are in this meeting that I'd like to bring back to the administrative team and also share it with Ms. Shanley. More specifically, there's a couple of topics that I've highlighted, but I kind of know what they are. They have to do with, student depression in the schools, school safety, looking at special education, how to cut costs, how to combine programs with special ed and general ed. So there are about 12 to 15 specific areas that I want to really get a lot of information on and bring it back to the team so that hopefully the team, along with Mr. Karati and Ms. Shanley being in place, can look at these and see if there's anything that we can incorporate for next school year. So
The other question for that is, do you need a chaperone?
I need a nurse.
Yeah, all right, cool.
All right. Okay. Seeing any other questions? Okay. All righty. We'll move on to number 6, all of number 6. These are strictly fees. Seeing none, I will move 7 through 10. Okay, and 11 through 19 on the next page.
I'm just going to mention about the Board of Education calendar meeting schedule. Everybody got a copy of it, so we know our dates. The only thing is, in January, when we have our reorg, then we'll pick our July dates and August dates, just so that we have them moving forward. Go ahead.
Chair, is that what the second email came, that there was a holdup on the calendar? Was it for?
No, there was a meeting, was it January?
January.
January, if we wanted to have it the second week or the third week in January, we picked the third week. So there's a little time in between. Right?
So you have your reorg
Should have
when
the
you come
correct-
back in, right?
It should say January 14th and 16th.
Yeah, it should be January 14th and 16th, and then the reorg is January 2nd, right?
Right.
That's
Okay.
it.
Just want to clarify that.
Okay.
Okay?
And then moving on to finalize 20 through 24. Well, not finalized, but it's 20 through 24, page 6. Any questions? That area? Okay. And moving to the next page, 25 to 35.
Uh, 34?
34?
Yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing as a whole board, I believe?
Yes.
Okay.
So, on the two bids, number 29 is going to be removed. We possibly might be approving that on May 20, at the May 21st meeting. I just have a funding issue for that, and so I want to pull it off for now. The second one will be awarded to, we received one bid from C&M Door Controls, so the first blank would be to award it to C&M Door Controls Incorporated at a base bid of $49,870, and alternate number one, $12,480, for a total contract amount of $62,350. There was only one bid received, and the architect and I recommend, this contractor has done great work for the district, and this way doors can get ordered and move forward. That project was a little bit under the estimate. And 31 will have, so those blanks will be filled in for Wednesday's agenda. 31, there's a revised tax levy payment schedule. We'll fill that exhibit number in. If you didn't receive it, we'll send it out again. There was just an adjustment with that 17-18 tax levy with the town. I think Yeah, the rest are okay.
Rest is good? Okay. Any questions? All right, moving over to Section C, policy. No report?
Discuss 34
Is
now?
that all right? Okay, that's right. We had a buy, that's right. So this is to approve the second reading. Yeah, no one did, okay. And then moving on to 1 through 9 in personnel, well, that's gonna, you got this listed?
Should I give my report?
Yeah, give, yeah, that's it.
Yep. Oh, personnel committee report. Go ahead.
All right, we assessed each principal's report on non-tenured staff and who is recommended for renewal. We discussed personnel that are not being retained or taking a leave of absence, and also the new hires. And we reviewed the agenda items, and the personnel committee recommends these items for approval.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay.
Okay,
Go
and
ahead.
the next group is numbers 10 through number 20.
That's me. Sorry.
And just in case you're confused about 10 and 11, Adair Fleming was hired already, but then we forgot that she's currently on maternity leave, so we had to rescind that and then appoint her for the start of the school year. Okay.
We're good?
No questions? Good?
You're good?
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other committee reports? Okay. So, any old business? Okay, new business. Few things under new business. One, we will discuss number 34 under new business. But first, I want to say that on May 21st, from 5:30 to 7:30, we will have refreshments, and we will be meet and greet for the new superintendent. And then following that, we will have a meeting on the middle school, new middle school proposal. The board should have all gotten a packet about the middle school. Everybody has this, right? To please review it, and if you have any questions, we'll go over it again, just so this is the preliminary information that we have, so we can discuss it. Okay, and then under new business, the LEAD program. Mr. Accomando, do you want to discuss the proposal? Or,
What
Do we
the
have-
chief of police wanted to do is bring a company in from Weehawken, I believe it was,
Edgewater?
Edgewater, same thing. Where I did not agree with, because we have 3 Taekwondo or self-defense classes on Market Street. Why not support in-town business instead of bringing in a friend to put money in their pocket? So if we were to approve that, I would say no. That's my opinion.
Okay, I want to just, give me 1 second, I'm going to read you the proposal so you know everything, okay? So everybody, here's what was proposed. On April 18th, Tony received an email from the chief of police and writing to request consideration for the use of school facilities for a program the police department would like to implement with the 6th grade LEAD program. The program is to provide each LEAD student the opportunity to learn the basic mechanics of Taekwondo, a mind and body discipline. In collaboration with the World Taekwondo Center of Edgewater, New Jersey, we have secured the volunteer time and talent of master Taekwondo instructors to provide the introduction of Taekwondo at no charge to the students. The instructional program is designed to better reinforce the foundation of drug prevention and education to our students and our community as a whole. It is also an initiative that may transition into a statewide model program for other school districts to offer to their local LEAD programs in their respective jurisdictions and facilities. Okay? The mechanics of the program would be our police department to supervise, schedule, and facilitate the participation of sixth grade lead students to a 4-week, 2 times a week instructional sessions. Twice a week for 4 weeks, so that's 8 sessions. Each session would be no more than 2 hours. They're looking at 7 to 9 p.m. over the 4-week period. It is suggested to have the sessions on a Tuesday and Thursday of each week or a Monday and Wednesday, depending on the availability of a school gymnasium. We would like to commence the program in early to mid-May, which wouldn't be, okay, and by early to mid-June. The police department would be responsible to receive parental authorization and the execution of liability hold harmless certifications for participation of students in the program. As such and as explained, we respectfully request consideration for the use of a school gymnasium like Washington School or an alternate location and with a schedule that may accommodate our request. Once again, it is suggested to use the facilities twice a week over a 4-week period in the time period of May to June. Thanks in advance for the consideration in our request, and should there be any questions or further dialogue needed, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. So when the committee had received this, the committee wanted to present this to the whole board for discussion and any questions or comments, and if they want to move forward or anything regarding this. So if anybody has a question, go ahead, Sylvia.
Chair, so that this was volunteer and that there was no charge to the students.
Right.
Is anyone paying for this, or is it totally volunteer?
I believe it's totally volunteers. These are volunteer instructors, and the lead program, the police department is taking care of.
And secondly, this is obviously not during the school time.
Right, 7 to 9 p.m.
Okay. What if a student doesn't want to, a lead student doesn't want to participate? Is it mandatory?
Right, no, it was not mandatory. It's if they wanted to do it. It was voluntary, yes. That it was if they wanted to participate in this particular 4-week program. They don't have to do it. They don't even know how many students would be interested in doing it, but, okay. Anybody else have a question? Go ahead, Steve.
So there's no cost to students, there's no cost to us. I guess one of the things, and I'm not sure if it's because of their scheduling, but 7 and 9 for 6th graders is starting to get on the later side. Is it possible for them to do it a little earlier?
I think that's a hypothetical time. I don't think it was actually written in stone. It would be that time. It was just what they suggested. It would be no more than 2 hours. It could be, I guess, 7 to 8:30. It was just what,
Okay.
hypothetically, what it would be approximately that time.
I teach 6th graders, they're out.
Yeah, they're up.
Yes, but the parents don't necessarily want to be bringing them back at 9:30 because
How many
they're
to
up.
play
Right,
sports?
so we don't know how many kids it would be.
Not that I've ever been through.
Okay, and next question. Again, Mike.
The questions that you had, did you ever suggest, submit them to Ray to find out?
So the question was, are there people, well, your question was, are there people in town who would like to volunteer to do this, as opposed to get volunteers from Edgewater? This was the discussion, not so much the program, but, we're getting volunteers from Edgewater. Is there possible to get volunteers from Saddlebrook? Did we reach out to any people in Saddlebrook? And no, we didn't get any information on that, I don't think,
Like I
right?
said, there's 3 places right on Market Street. And I know there's a student or something that works.
With the kids in self-defense, I'm sure he would be willing to come here. Again, instead of, like, I'm not forcing, but submitting our kids to the fact that, oh, well, now if you want to join, you got to go to Weehawken, instead of supporting local business where, hey, you can go right on Market Street. That's my whole thing.
Do you know if the police department reached out to anyone?
I don't know.
In town?
I don't know. We could find out.
Okay, if you could find that out. Mike has an excellent point. If we can do it local, we should. I'm assuming that
Wait, what'd you say?
anybody, I'm assuming anybody that comes in, instructor level, et cetera, will have a full background check done that will be paid through either the LEADS program or themselves?
I can't answer that, but like I said, the police department is in charge of the whole process, so they'll be part of that, so we could find out.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure that that is done
Go ahead,
regardless
Jess.
who does it.
Well, just from what I've heard, it sounds like we're just approving facilities use.
That's it.
We don't really have any oversight, nor do we want to have oversight in the program. We're just allowing them to use the building.
Yes, that is correct.
We don't have any oversight over the LEADS program whatsoever?
I don't know,
Where-
that's what I'm hearing, they're asking to use the facility.
Yes.
I don't think for this, as far as the LEAD program in the classroom, I'd say yes, because it is in the schools. But this is something they want to do
Extra.
aside from the classroom program, so I don't, and it's not mandatory, again, so I really just think this falls under the lead group in the police department if they're going to take it. My only concern was, and I think we got clarification, was the insurance involved.
Right.
So you want to make sure that the instructors and the company itself, whether it's somebody from Market Street or Edgewater, whatever the case may be, has the proper insurance in place. So God forbid, again, we go back to somebody gets a sprain or a broken bone or something, that, the liability goes where it's supposed to be.
One quick question. Is there a minimum and maximum?
Not that we could find out. I'm going to assume that they have, so say 25 students sign up, they'll have enough instructors, because they said these are all volunteer instructors. It wasn't one person, it was a group of people who would come in. I'm just saying, I don't know, but I can find out. All right, and what else do we have to find out? Okay. So it's really, they're asking to use our facility. I don't know, obviously, it's already beginning of May, almost mid-May, so that's something we'd have to really decide one way or the other. So I can find out this information, or have Tony find out about if there's a minimum, maximum, about the, what,
If all we're doing is approving the facility, all this other stuff really is a moot point, honestly.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, we just are going to approve the facility request. We don't even know what we're approving, but it could have been on there for all we know.
Correct. Also, right, it's just, and I would just assume that we would do it where there is a night custodian, so there would be no extra charge, where Washington, is there one that would be there from 7 to 9? No. So it would be here or somewhere else where there's availability, not necessarily one where we had to put a custodian
Okay,
in.
but if that scenario was to take place, who would we supply the cost of the custodian, or would they pick up the cost?
Right. I would guess it would be them, and I would ask them that, too.
Because that's what we do with everyone
Yeah.
else.
Sure. So just to be clear, I wanted everyone to know what is going on, and that's why I read the email, so everybody's well aware of what we're going with. I will, if anyone wants me to I'll get the information about minimum, maximum. Again, I know it's voluntary, the students don't have to do it. They play sports or they have other things going on, but there are kids who don't play sports and it would be great for them, so it's really just the facility. Is there any other discussion or any other clarification? I will again find out if there's a minimum, maximum, the custodian and the insurance. Is there anything else that we want to find out?
Do we want to find out if anybody from town was willing to do it, or we don't have to, now we have no choice, really?
The motion even says facility safety, say.
But it's something we could definitely,
Political mess.
we could definitely ask. I will definitely ask if, moving forward, if we can,
We'll be glad to.
Possibility.
no, that's not a, I don't think that's a strange question to ask, but I think it's something that we could say we had concerns with, so. All right, I'll ask Tony or whoever, you'll have to
We'll
email.
finalize it,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then by Wednesday, it'll be on the agenda, and I'll,
What's the background check?
yes, background check.
This is one where we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, really. We got the cops here.
Well,
All right,
the local authority's going to be here.
yeah, the police will be here. So, okay. Is there, okay, where am I? Any other new business?
I like to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to wait until Wednesday, but my partner on the right side here Ms. Borelli reminded me, and rightfully so. We want to thank all of our teachers, especially those of you sitting in the audience, but across the entire district. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, and we truly appreciate everything that goes on. We don't forget about you in the trenches. I know sometimes we seem far removed, but we're not that far away. So it's just a matter of we acknowledge you, we thank you, and we're proud of you. So keep up the good work, and there'll be some more messages coming out later in the week. Also, it's Nurse Appreciation Week too this week, so we want to thank our school nurses, all 4 of them, for doing a great job and keeping us in a good place. So again, thank you. Also, I want to remind the board that at the June 13th meeting, we will be doing our board recognition ceremony. So if there's anybody that you're aware of that I'm not, that might have been involved in something to help the district, help a particular school or something that's going on, please let me know, because we would like to acknowledge people in the school, students in the school, people, parents, or anybody else from the community who has helped in many different ways, just to make them feel part of what we're trying to have as a overall school community embedded into the local community so that we're all working as one. That's the goal, so please don't hesitate to let me know. All right?
Never do.
Okay. Any other new business? No? Okay. Can I please have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the meeting's open to the public. I'm going to read my long statement. Here I go. Unless nobody comes up, then I'm not going to read it.
Just so you can save yourself a headache, eh?
Okay, well, if no one's coming up to speak, I'm not going to read my long statement. Okay. Can I have a motion to close?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, wait, I got more to go, hold on. Okay. This I do have to read. I need a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we're going to recess to closed executive session to discuss personnel, HIB investigations, contract negotiations, and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege per the Open Public Meetings Act. The subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken when the board reconvenes in open session. Okay, that's it? All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. See you Wednesday.